We'll do this song. This is the title cut off of that CD that he's talking about, and it comes from one of my first trips to Ireland. When I was a little tiny girl, I was really, really attracted to cemeteries. And in studying a lot about pre-Christian Celtic beliefs, they believed in a thin place. A thin place is a place where the other world is very, very close to this world. And there's three main thin places. One is a cemetery, of course, and one is a lone growing tree, growing alone by itself without the protection of a forest. And one is where water meets land, and particularly where water comes up from the land in the form of a well. The holy wells are considered very, very sacred. So those are three types of thin places where the other world's close, and I think children know where those thin places are. I've always known that lone growing trees and cemeteries were very magical places. My mother thought I needed some psychological counseling. But I love those places and would wander to them if I ever had the chance, and I still do. So on my very first trip to Ireland, many, many, many years ago, I was wandering around the countryside and I noticed some lone growing trees. Sometimes they weren't very large, they're just little bushes, but I would notice them growing, and they'd have to be planted, especially up in Connemara, because there's no naturally growing trees there. They were felled in the Bronze Age. It's very sparse. And so I started asking about those trees. They really piqued my interest. And the locals told me that they were called lost souls burial grounds, and that these were places where people were buried who weren't allowed to be in the cemeteries. So you'd have three kinds of cemeteries: the kind where you put, if you're in good standing with the church and you have enough money and a family, to put you there and put a headstone. And then there's the pauper burial grounds, where you're put if you are in good standing with the church but you don't have the money to have a headstone and be in the proper churchyard. And then the lost souls burial grounds, which of course just absolutely attracted me like a magnet. And you have to ask about the stories, you have to collect the stories, because there's no records kept and there's no markers. And so you just have to talk to people and find out who's there and why. So I started collecting stories, and there'd be many, many of sad, broken heart over who's there. But they're very, very, very powerful places. This is called One Lone Rowan Tree. Marking the tinker's sleep within the valley low. No more will he Tree.